I don't know what that was. Just like kicked me off. It better have not lost my save data, because I was about to. Okay. Ah! Whatever. Okay. Blah blah blah. I'm just gonna choose kind of basically try to do the same thing I did before. Yeah, I knew I was here. Yep, I give it some of my willpower. Busted! Okay, this is where I left off. Okay. Susanna said irritably as she ran a hand through her hair. To my relief, her expression relaxed slightly. That wasn't an open invitation, you idiot. Look, Susanna sighed. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm not super thrilled with what's been going on lately, but I trust Andreas that he's looking out for all of Gyru. She shrugged as she scratched her face. He wants to destroy the room. What's so bad about that? Ooh, does he deserve... Yeah, does he deserve your trust? Oh. Okay, where was I? Sure, she deserves your trust, I said gently. Yes, I don't know. I thought he did. She fidgeted comfortably. Okay, look. I really didn't want to get into my whole tragic backstory, but you need to know that Andreas isn't a bad person. Not really. The thing is, my parents kicked me out when I was a teen, just after I had my first change. Her eyes blazed as she said fiercely, but Andreas took me in. I owe him for that. What? Oh. He's hitting you though, isn't he? I guess with sudden realization as the color drained from her face. I saw that bandages in the bathroom, the fresh blood, and I can't imagine you taking that from anyone else. Oh my goodness. She looked away, suddenly deflated as she muttered, Look, he didn't mean that and it's fine, I can handle it. Yeah. sorry, Susanna. No one should have to deal with that, I said firmly. I had a sudden flash of inspiration. Why don't you come and stay with me and my aunt? I'm sure she won't mind. Her expression relaxed into what was almost a smile as she waved a hand around the room, jokingly saying, what, trade all of this luxury? She turned serious. Listen, thanks for the offer, but I've got to figure out on my... Oh... She's gonna get killed. And what you're saying about Andreas, I'll think about it, okay? It was not a deal, but I nodded. She slapped me on the back. Alright, enough of the sob stuff. You should probably be getting out of here before someone else finds you. I started walking to the door when she held out a hand to stop me. Wait, she hesitated, then plowed ahead. Andreas and Tomas are planning something to do with the Korean. Some rite or whatever, while everyone's out to dinner. I recognize the name of Tomas as I don't know what Thorage is. And Andreas pack. Feeling my stomach drop at the news, I thanked Susanna for letting me know, but she waved me off gruffly. Yeah, whatever. Don't get all mushy on me. As I turned to leave, though, I could see her hiding a small smile before she closed the door behind me. Perfect. We're friends. We had spent enough time here and needed to leave. Oh shoot, I didn't get to check his room. But I think, okay, we had spent enough time here, slightly. Oh, they must have noticed we were here. We immediately took off sprinting. Turning a corner, we skidded to a hole into two cars stared at us in surprise. No! Oh, did I accidentally choose? No, Yeah, fast, heavy, and terrifying. That's what we need. I was more than a wolf. My spine cracked and twisted, blah, blah, blah. My jaw shattered and rearranged itself. My whole skin was on fire, rippling and spreading fur. I howled in agony. When I rose, panting and spitting blood, I was a hispo with strong paws, mighty jaws, and a mane of fur. More than a wolf, scary and monstrous. I shapeshifted to my hispo form, muscles rippling, and fangs bared as I growled at them, a flow of primal energy rushing through me. I attacked. In a blur of speed, I launched myself at Anna, my jaws closing in on her... Wait. At Anna? Who's Anna? My jaws closing in on her muzzle as... Oof. She let out a yelp of pain. The other gyro tried to stop me, but it was futile. I struck him with an enormous paw, watching as they hit the wall on the opposite side with a bone-crunching thud. Alexander abruptly appeared by my side in his lupus form, growling, a warning indicating the corridor was his head for us to leave. Ooh, but I say, because I'm at high rage right now. Okay. I ignored him, lashing again at Anna, who, this is not a good look for the refugees. She slapped me a few more times on the arm, but it was no use with a single devastating blow. She was thrown back and knocked unconscious, a huge, ugly gash bleeding upon her side. The other guy sped off down the corridor, endeavoring to get reinforcements. My rage, as I quickly fled in the opposite direction. I thought I was going to kill him too. I left down crumbling stairways, taking them one at a time as the howls of pursuing wolf other gyros grew louder. I think I need to get out of here, honestly. Or else I'm going to hurt somebody. With a powerful thrust of my hind legs, I bolted forward, barreling through an open window, and I have enough health. We immediately took off running through the howls of the wolf father pack behind us and visual state as we raced through the cities to the Korean. Once we made it far enough, shapeshifted back. Alexander's eye at last came within sight of the Korean, taking a short breather just outside the gates. Okay, I got a little willpower back. seeing the scarred grounds of Korean strengthened my resolve once more. Ducking into the shrouds of the main entrance, we made our way across the silent grounds. Ooh, so... okay. Had messaged earlier, warning her of the impending attack. We spotted her now waiting grimly in the cold. Ilona motioned for us to approach, saying in a quiet, grim undertone, "The Gairu you mentioned has not yet arrived. But according to what you have told me, it should not be long." We waited tensely in the ground. Okay. Are we about to be attacked? Violent shift in the air made us start, followed by a feeling like a burning knife across my throat. We immediately rushed around towards the back, where the feeling was emanating from a scent of Jeez, what's happening? Protect me. A glance at Alexander and Ilona indicated that they had not heard it, and I continued running. What is happening? The red brick walls of the Colosseum were now a white, speckled, molten gray in the evening glow. They towered high, casting a long, dark shadow over the white, snowy grounds, and the enormous circle of exposed, foul-looking soil that had been etched into it. At the center of the circlet stood a silent, hooded figure, two enormous, animalian spirits guarding silent on either side. The hooded figure slowly raised their head, revealing the features of his face gaunt with dark, dead eyes that made me shout, "Tamaz!" Ilona called out in a calm fury, her voice breaking through the silence. "No! What is he doing? How dare you enact a right upon the grounds of our crane? Cease now, or you will face even more dire consequences." He ignored her, turning, to whisper to the spirits by his side, a golden snake and a black bear. I don't know. Am I choosing who to fight? Black bear elemental with red eyes that snarled at me from where it stood. It flexed its claws with a hungry look at it. Ooh. I waited to see what... yeah. Waited to see what Ilona and Alexander would do. Watching as they crouched, clearly expecting attack, but not wanting to make the first move without knowing what Tamaz would do is capable of. From beneath the ground, rushed forth a toxic cloud of black and white. Before its reactors surrounded us, I held my arms up to protect my face, briefly closing my eyes against gold. The sound of snow, wind, and word abruptly ceased as I opened my eyes. Am I in another memory? A calm, still void now stretched before me. I called out before realizing that, wherever here was, I was completely, utterly alone. I felt foolish for letting myself get sent here, but wandering around hopelessly would help no one. I looked around for anything that could guide my way. In the far-off distance, I spotted a faint line of light glimmering. It could be a trap, but I had no other choice as I set off towards it. Drawing closer, I saw the lights were actually thin wires of steel that softly glowed. When I tentatively touched one of the wires, I found it soft to the touch despite appearance, yet coated with a substance that clung cloying to my head. Oh, where were we? Must have somehow sent us to the Umbra? The steel lines soon grew thicker, forming intricate patterns around me. I wove my way through them, careful not to get trapped. You are not part of the pattern. I'm guessing. Ooh! I rolled to face the rustling voice behind me. From the wetted steel, an enormous mechanical spider emerged. It was the pattern spider of Umbra. Not who I wanted to meet. Hopefully this one would be more helpful than the others I met. There were many varieties of pattern spiders. I wondered nervously which one this one was as I responded to the statement. I'm trying to find my friends. I said carefully. We became separated. The spider regarded me, then began clicking its mechanical foot against the webbing as a tooth-rattling vibration filled the air. It tilted its head as if listening to something, then responded, "Yes, there are 3 others who do not belong here." Must be my friends. I thought there was like 2 others. 2 of those are my friends. I had a sinking feeling as to who the other was. The other is also not part of the pattern. They're an enemy. We just wish to leave. Yeah. It must be not a friend. I nodded, filled with blazing fury. Not a friend, an enemy. Enemy, they hiss. As I, too late, sensed danger. Enemies mean destruction. Destruction means you are not here to destroy the pattern. You are here to destroy the pattern. I'm not an enemy. He is. The mechanical spider launched itself at me, only its enormous size slowing it down and following me to the, allowing me to dodge out of the way in the nick of time. There was no way. Yeah, so I had to hide. I just had to. With noise, I crouched down, hand over mouth, and trying not to breathe. The spider skittered closer to me, its mechanical arms whirling as its head darted this way, and that violent eye glowing furiously. I closed my own to avoid any light reflecting from them, my heart beating faster and faster. I expected at any moment to feel its legs closing around me, but then silence. I tentatively opened my eyes, but only darkness and the faintly glowing lines could be seen. After waiting several moments to ensure it was not a trap, I swiftly stood up and began wandering in the darkness once more. The umbra seemed never-ending. Wandering in the darkness, despair filling me as I wondered if I could even break free. Then as I crossed the umbra itself, I took another world. I ran towards it, seeing with sobbing relief Alexander standing near, with clearly the exit. Okay, cool. My attention turned to the doorway of the light. Alexander had already examined it, and he assured me that it was indeed an exit back to our world. Okay. Oh, yeah, where's Ilona? I asked, looking. Oh, we have to go back for her. But I would not worry. She easily be able to make her own way out, Alexander responded. We were is mechanically force blah 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 blah. I think we need to go back for her. I am righteousness, it hissed in the sound of 1,000 pebbles scraping over stone, and I will stop your corruption. Sorry, that was an awful laugh. I recognize the spirit for what it truly was now, not righteousness as it claimed, but arrogance. A righteousness corrupted until the spirit saw only their own action as right, rather than truth. I shapeshift. Oh. I mean, come on. I have to. Tasting blood. I grew higher and higher. 8 foot tall killing machine. Oh wow. Long tower hissing instinct. Okay, rushing forward. Ace with speed, I snatched its body, my claws ignoring the putrid mess that oozed from the touch. It began a frenzied dance in the attempt to bite at me, but my grip only tightened as I drew it closer. Its lit eyes stared fearfully into mine, my fangs shaking as I smiled. Ooh, yeah. With a savage bite, I tore to its head from its body. Death. I held in triumph as I threw the snake's corpse into the darkness. A cry that was cut short as I heard a rumbling behind me, the ground shaking beneath my feet. Whirling, I stared up at the mechanical spider I had encountered earlier. Oh, you have broken the pattern, it rasped angrily. Oh. It's lashed out with glinting razor-sharp legs. Alexander barked at me to flee as he raced forward. Okay. My thought process is I'm leaving an enemy. But I think if I stayed, I would have gotten seriously injured. So I went to the door. Howling wind whipped across my face as we found ourselves back to the wintry snow-covered grounds of the Korean. Tomas stood several meters in front of us, but did not react to our presence as he chanted in a deep voice. The words of what was clearly a riot clamored in the strident surge. Sounding evenly above the cries of the wind, while black ruins etched themselves into this circlet of scorched soil. Wait, I recognize these ruins. They were ones used for a rite to silence the guardian of a queen. Oh, red. Yeah, I'm still good. Okay, excuse my vision as I leaped across the ground to strike at the Thruge. Before I could hit, the black bearer spirit rose from the ground to block my attack with a ferocious roar. Ooh. Oh wow, that guy was scary. The bear spirit now too revealed its true form. A crazed beast who towered nearly as high as I, its fur hued in a deep blood red. With each needle stick, it dared to stand in my way. We met each other in a brutal display of raw strength as I let out a challenging howl in return. Yet even with its new strength, the spirit was no match for Queen Nose. With a powerful rip, I tore his arm from his body and a spraying arch of blood. The bear let out a final muted cry of pain before it dissipated completely. The chants of the Thruge grew increasingly desperate as I stalked closer. Where's Alexander? Okay, he could have... breath hot and heavy. I brought a paw down with a crash, only to find an invisible barrier blocking my way. I let out a low rumbling snort, as if that could stop me. I smashed my whole body into the barrier, feeling it shuddered beneath me. I fit rage. I continued. Yeah, obviously I continue. I wore staring down at the silver threads, sewing them apart. I raised my paws and struck with the full might of a Kranos. The barrier shattered beneath my blow as Tomas ceased his chanting, staring up at me, in terror. Suddenly, Alexander appeared in my path, shapeshifted to his bow form. He let out a warning growl. Get out of my way. Yeah, I'm killing this guy. I shoved him out of my way, stalking closer. I revealed it in the look of fear in the Thruge's eyes before the scene around me turned a brilliant, beautiful crimson red. Wow. That's right. A savage slash in my side brought me to my senses as I howled with the pain dropping to my knees. I shifted. Ooh, my health is not great. What? I lost all my loyalty with Alexander? What? Alexander stood in front of me, a furious look on his face. Around us, the pieces of the Thruge lay scattered across the ground. Ilona stood by his side. Okay, I needed to do that, guys. Ilona stood by his side, although she appeared to be more exasperated than angry. That was incredibly foolish, Samara, Alexander said through clenched teeth. Not only will we never know what he was... We do know what he was attempting to do here, but we also have lost a key witness. It was a rite. I said quickly, it was a rite to silence the Guardian. Alexander paused, then sighed still. While I agreed that keeping Tomas would have been useful, Ilona interrupted, and I certainly do not condone this type of justice. Tomas had violated the sanctity of the Korean Alexander. Alexander rubbed his temple, then exhaled. Very well. Ilona looked around at the scattered limbs. Oof, scattered limbs. We will have to deal with the cleanup later. Right now, we have more pressing matters to attend to. She turned and began heading towards the front of the Korean. Alexander and I followed close behind, and mute was about to begin. Oh, the party! Hurrying across the grounds, the moonlight streamed gently down upon the Gyru, who were loudly making their way to the Kareen. As we entered, Luna's light illuminated a cavernous room flowing in waves from the broken glass of the roof. Above, two creatures. Elona stepped forward. Elona, blah blah blah, addressing the crowd. Several other affairs had to be dealt with first, but eventually I heard her calling Alexander and mine's name. Rising from our seats, we made our way out into the center of the Kareen. Elona motioned to Alexander and I as we walked forward. Andre's blazing blue eyes following us as we... Ooh! He's there? We presented what we found, the crowd reacting with muttered surprise and anger exclamations as we laid out our facts in all their glory details. As we finished, Ilona stepped forward once more. The evidence presents a damning picture against the Wolf-Father pack, and above all, against its leader, Andreas. I thereby vote to expel him from the Warsaw Sept. I stared at her in disbelief. I had not expected her to take things this far. Neither had the rest of the Gyru, judging from the uproar this created. Amidst the clamor, Andreas stepped forward, the crowd immediately silencing. His expression was schooled to one of sad disbelief, and he shook his head at me. Samara, I can scarcely believe that what I am hearing. We have welcomed you into our sept, and yet now you would believe these lies against me? Boy, and you, Alexander, he said to him now. Alexander stood frozen, his eyes locked on Andres. You really believe that I am capable of this? Oh my gosh. I have only ever wished to fight for the good of our sept in our city, to fight together against the worm, our common enemy. Oh, Susanna, you better help, girl. Wait, let me see. Can I see how... Character sheet. Hey, what happened to my characters? What? I just want to see, like, how good me and Susanna are. I looked at Susanna for help, imploring her with my gaze. She hesitated, her eyes darting wildly between us before she exhaled sharply and stood up. Her voice echoed through the hall. Yeah, they're telling the truth. Andreas turned to her with shock stamped across his features before saying, quiet in a tone of reproach, you would turn your back on me, Susanna? After all I have done for you? She squared her jaws but remained silent, avoiding his gaze. Andreas shook his head morosely. But I thought I caught a momentary gleam of fury in his eyes. Ooh. As the ground split open, roots shot up from the soil, twisting around Andre's legs as if trying to drag him down to the steps, slashing at them with clawed hands. Andres leapt back with an oath. As abruptly as it had begun, so too did the shaking cease. After a moment of stunned silence, Ilona's voice rang out. It appears the guardian spirits of the Korean have spoken. The time now has come to vote. All those in favor of expelling Andreas, raise your hands now. I watched with bated breath that quickly turned to relief as the overwhelming majority of the Gyrus raised their hands. Then it is decided. Andreas, the moot of Warsaw, has found you guilty of crimes against Gaia. You are hereby expelled from the sept. Ooh. His mask of handsome charisma shattering with a breathtaking suddenness. You wish to expel me? Me? Who has only ever sought to save us all from the worm? His blue eyes blazed with intense furiosity. You think that this will be over now? Oh, shoot. Wait. Give me like 2 minutes and I'll hop off. Actually, I'll just hop off now. I've been meaning to hop off. Wait, can I save this real quick? Yeah. Main menu.